XLM, we start with daily chart, and as we can see, we get this move, and similar to what we get for the XRP, because this is in relative to each other. And right now, we're looking at this correction, the daily correction. Okay. Anyway, we start with higher time frame, and we want to see what we can look for. And based on daily chart, based on monthly chart, this is what we get, and mostly we will get the daily correction or weekly correction before we see the breakout of the all-time high. But if the price could break the all-time high based on monthly and weekly chart, the targets after the breakout of the all-time high, we're looking for 1 and 1.3 at least. Okay, then from there we'll see how high it can go. But at this point, we can be with the breakout of the all-time high, we can look for 1 and 1.3, and if we move to weekly chart, similar explanation. The only thing is how deep this correction can be. And mostly we can look for the daily correction. And before we get look for the next trade setup. Anyway, if we move to daily correction, this is what we have it. First of all, based on daily correction, that if we get and based on daily chart, any opportunity for buy from here, we can look for the 80 cent, following by one. All right. And then from there, we can look for 1.3. But the question is how deep this one can go. If the price couldn't continue from here, we get the next drop. We can look for 42 cent as a support. If there is a breakout, then we can look for 35 following by 25. All right. We don't want to see the breakout of the 35 cent. That means if the price could break, if we get the next drop, if the price could break 42, then we can look for the 35. The possibility of the price to drop below 35 cent is very less. Okay. That means at this point, we want to see what we will get here. If the prices start to consolidate here, turn to deeper correction, this is the support we should look for. And at this point, based on daily chart, I don't see any trade setup. And if we move to lower time frame, all right, this is what we have it. Can we consider this one as a three-way for the next drop before we see the continuation? All right. If this, we first of all, we have to be aware of this, and if it's happened, it's good because we can get a really good trade setup and confirmation for continuation. Because if the price continues from here as a corrective, mostly we will have a divergence unless we see the continuation as a sharp. Okay, then how we can look for trade? At this point, from what we have here, any sharp move flag based on 1 hour chart, we can look for. But whether we want to look for buy within this range or not, because how about if the price tag, then we get this one. That's why we should be quite careful. Anyway, it depends on the strategy the traders are using. We don't need to wait for the next drop. We don't need to wait for the next drop to look for the trade setup. Any opportunity for buy from here, we will take it. The only thing is we have to be aware if this one turn to internal flat, may if we get the next drop, how deep it can go. We have to be aware of this possibility and how deep it can go. And if we move to 1 hour chart, similar explanation. Okay, if we want to look for buy, if continue, we can look for flag within this range, or we wait for the breakout of desktop, then we look for trade. But if we get this possibility, then any opportunity for buy, as long as the price drop to 42 cent, we will take it. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.